Grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch. No, real women don't. 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 Real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Yay! Guess what? We are back and I am so excited. Season 2 has been off the chain and the women, all of them have brought it in such a manner that I'm going back and just soaking up the ambiance and getting some nuggets myself. And today, our guest is special. She's really, really special because of what I gathered from this woman. First of all, I met her in a virtual book fair. And I listened to her interview. I listened to her transparency and her walk. And I was like, wow, that's the kind of person I would like to be friends with on Facebook. And when the topic about being on this podcast came up and she said she'd like to be on here, baby, when I say she filled out the application and shared so much information, there's only one other person who shared information to the degree that this guest has, that it blew me away, that I was like, yeah, she has so much to give and no problem giving that. And I'm excited because you can tell a lot about a person's character by my process. That I am very confident in. With that being said, you guys, I have to introduce to you this beautiful woman. If you're not watching on YouTube, go see her so you can see how gorgeous she is. Tammie Polk, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, ma'am. How we doing?
I am fabulous, and I'm in this state right now. I don't know where you are, but I'm just in this state of extra calmness. I'm not, you've seen me, I'm like a firecracker. So I'm like, yeah, what we got going on? But even though that energy is there, I'm just in this I'm in flow. It's a really good place to be at this point in my life because I've done so much on my journey. And so that's how I feel today. I just feel like I'm in flow. What about you?
I'm good. This is a kind of a season of celebration for me. My birthday's in 8 days, so I'm just kind of, getting myself together, kind of focusing on myself, and just celebrating. Somebody asked me, they were like, Tammie, what are your goals for August? Because, you do so many big things. I said, my goal for August is to turn 37 and be great.
I like that. And I got a bias that your birthday is in August. Good month, good name.
Yeah, so I said my goal is to turn 37 and just be great.
You already great, so you just got to add the 37 to it. It's a no-brainer. It's going to happen. So we got that. We got it covered. So let's just go ahead and get this flow because I think I'm gonna have to police us with time. I can feel it in my spirit already, y'all. I can feel it.
What had happened?
Because what had happened was we talked for a little minute before we started. So moving on.
All right.
Look, tell the people something about you, though. I like for people to be able to connect with the audience. Just anything, personal about you. Tell us some fun facts.
Well, first of all, I am a married homeschooling mother of 3 heads of hair, 15, 10, and 5.
Ooh.
Yeah. Pray for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that once you finish telling us about yourself.
A fun fact about me that I'd like to tell. My name is Tammie Terrell, and my dad's first name is Marvin.
Hey.
A lot of people don't make the connection, but I do. I give brownie points to those that do. I am as every bit of an overachiever as you can get. Graduated top of my class at the age of 16, only Black person in a school of 300 people.
Ooh.
In Mississippi.
You know what I love? I said this before on another podcast that just aired recently before we recorded this one. One of the reasons why I love for people to give that personal component, because it's something about the connection. And there's always something. It makes no difference. There's always something. The thing that the guest decides to share, there's a parallel in my own life. It happens every single time. I don't know what you're going to share, but it happens. Homeschool mom, just like you. Now, I'm a mom of 4, but the oldest is gone. So the 3 that are left got a head full of hair, even the baby boy. And so I have 3 heads to comb, just like you. When I was in 5th grade, in 4th grade, I lived in Springfield, Missouri, and I went to a school called Bingham, and there were only 2 Black kids there, me and another young lady. And so, just once again, just some of those little small details that means so much, that says, we have some things in common. So that's awesome. I won't stay there, but I'm listening to you. I'm like, And even the significance in the age gap, mine's a little bit bigger, but it's 13, 5, and 3. So yeah, you being a boss, running your own business, celebrating life, doing all of this stuff with those responsibilities. I love it when I coach somebody that doesn't have children and they say, I don't have time. And boo, I'm like, don't make me strangle you. And I'm just going to leave that right there. Breathe, Tammie.
I wrote a book about that.
Look, she done wrote a book about everything. I'm gonna need y'all to follow her and find her, because she wrote a book.
I wrote a book about that. Since you brought that up, I wrote a book about that. My little brother and I are both speakers and authors, and sometimes we do things together. And on this particular day, I was taking him to an engagement that he had because his car had broken down. And I was there. I had just gotten a shipment in of one of my books, like UPS pulled up behind me as I was pulling out. So I just tossed the box in the car. So we get to the place, we get him set up, we get him going. And one of the people that worked there, she was like, well, do you write too? You seem like you write. So what do you do? So I handed her a copy of my book. And then she commenced with the foolishness. And she says, I want to write a book, but it just costs so much and I don't have time. And I have my son and he's autistic and writing is kind of a hobby and I don't know what I would write about. And I've been a teacher since I graduated from college. And, the school, they treat me nice. The kids are great. They pay me well. So I'm good really where I am, but I really want to write a book though. I'm like...
And you made me tired just saying all of that, but at the same time, a tad bit angry, because that ties into what I talked about on a live video earlier today. It's the things that come out of people's mouths and then their actions and their behaviors, how it doesn't line up. And I love the fact that you said that you were an overachiever to the umpteenth degree. And that's something else that you and I would have in common. because I even put a post up the other day, and it was a picture of my logo, because I am actually about to start my own networking group. And I know one of the people that they're going to work with me, I'm like, I know you probably already wondered how I'm going to do this with this group and that group and my one-to-one clients and my release of my next book and blah, 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 blah. And she said, August, I already know you're going to say it turns you on. And it does, because it's what I love. It's what I want to do. I want to connect with people. And so I always challenge entrepreneurs, when you start saying, I want to do something, but what do you really think you're going to get on the other side? Do you want to write a book because you think that if you write your book, you might get paid? Do you want to start a business because you think it might be the easier way to make money? You know, what would make it even?
What's your motivation
to say that you want to do something, but then have an excuse as to why you wouldn't do it? Exactly. What's your motivation? And so that is personally a pet peeve of mine, because this walk requires dedication, and you're a well-rounded, very versatile woman. To get people to understand your level of commitment and what you do as an entrepreneur, why don't you go ahead and break that down for them so they can understand why neither one of us, don't really have tolerance for that kind of conversation?
I'm going to explain that in the response that I gave to this woman. I substitute teach 5 days a week. I tutor 6 days a week. As I said, I'm a married homeschool parent of 3 girls, 2 of whom are borderline autistic. I run 2 businesses of my own. And at the time, I was co-managing my brother and my best friend. I had published 2 books within 3 months of each other, didn't pay a dime to publish either one. And I was 33 years old at the time.
Wow.
Since then, I am now 36. I no longer substitute teach. I don't tutor. I still run my 2 business, but I have written, as of about 2 hours ago, I have written and released, published,
yes,
32 books since September 15th of 2015. What you don't have time to do.
Whoo! Now, and I'm man. So once again, some similarities. I can't touch you. I can't touch you with the 32 books, but I will tell you that when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, that was one of the first things that I got into, because everybody was like, if you're going to do this, you need to show your authority through writing a book. Now, mind you, I didn't really have a brand, but like you said, where there's a will, there's a way. And at that point, I knew that I needed some level of help or potential coaching or whatever, but I'm like, okay, I'm a writer. I've always excelled when it came to writing of presentations, whether that was in school, at church, some type of organization. It didn't make a difference. Those were my strong points. And all I did was say, okay, well, what is this online thing? Because, I'm 42, so I got 5 more years over you. So that means I'm just a little bit further away from the technology switch. But nevertheless, I didn't go through, some of my generation is still kind of like, nah, we're not doing all that, whatever. But I had to go through that adjustment. And I immediately, I perused for a second, and I found a gentleman who was very thorough with everything and gave you PDF templates for what your book should be formatted like. And I got busy. And within 30 days, I published my first book. From September of 2015 up until January of 2016, I had already released 3 books. Because I just sat down and I focused and I grinded it out and I put it out there. I was focused. That was the key word. But let's just rewind though. But I'm pointed out that because once again, right? Parallels. I want you guys to see the parallels, because this is the no excuse zone. And anytime a woman says, yeah, but this is my story, as if it's only happening to you, you give your story the wrong type of leverage and power. But when you and I both went through something similar, it's like, oh, this is commonplace, so it can't be my excuse. So how in the world did you do all of that stuff and maintain your sanity? Or if you lost it for a second, what you have to do to get it back?
Well, I've never been sane. Anybody who knows me personally will tell you I tell people all the time. I was telling somebody this morning, I wear my special proudly, honey, as if you can't tell. I wear my special proudly. I tell people all the time, I'm not ambitious, I'm crazy. There's a difference.
Amen.
But I had a lot of grace. Just with my family and everything. My husband, if he sees me writing, he already knows. Hold it down, because I'm in my zone of genius.
Hello.
Like I'm in my bubble. So if you're not dead, dying, bleeding, looking at Jesus, or a combination of all four, leave me alone. So one thing that I learned was to recognize and take advantage of downtime, because that's one thing about us as women, whether we have kids or not, we always think, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have any downtime. Downtime, what's that? Let me ask you a question.
Come on.
When you at the salon getting your hair done, what are you doing while you're under the dryer?
Ooh.
When you in the car line waiting for the kids to get out of school, or sitting in the parking lot waiting for them to get out of practice, what are you doing? While you on hold on the phone, what are you doing?
Yes.
When you're stuck in traffic, what are you doing? What we have to understand is that we have those steal away moments that we can tap into. Case in point, whenever I give my talk on excuses, which I call the Slayers, it never fails. I always have one dude in the room. So on this particular day, I was doing the workshop in conjunction with a doctor friend of mine, and everybody always asks me to go back to time once I tell them who I am and what I do. One thing about me, I believe in the power of the written word, as you can see.
Yes.
But when I talked about downtime, this guy looked at me like I had 7 heads. And so he went to a baseball game, and during the time where the teams changed the field, he decided to check his email. Steal away moment, right? Well, he's a car salesman. Somebody had sent a car inquiry, wanted to set an appointment for the next day. So during that time, while they're running the commercials and all of the promotions and stuff that they do at the baseball game, he's on the phone, he's setting his appointment and everything, goes to work the next day, sells 2 cars, and made a $28,000 commission. All because he saw that 2 to 3 minute window of the teams changing the field, and he says, okay, well, let me see if I got an email. Let me see if I got a text. So we have to use those steal away moments. I use mine. I tell anybody, 8:30 at night is the most peaceful time in my house. My little kids are in the bed. My oldest daughter already knows. No. Look, don't bother me. My husband, he works overnight. I've gotten him out of the house. I've done the dishes. I may have a load of laundry going, but that's my time. So I will either listen to music or find me something to watch. I'm one of those authors that believes that music or noise in the background doesn't distract you from writing. I don't subscribe to the anti-white noise thing. So I will have something going because I'd like to have the noise. I may not be looking at it, but I like to have it. And so I write. I will write. I look at a blank computer screen and I just let my mind go. Sometimes I may have an outline. Even if I have an outline, I just let my mind go. And the thing was, I dealt with the challenge of thinking that I was oversaturated in the market. So I went to my dear friend, the Google.
Come on down.
Googled how often do authors publish? And I kid you not, a quote came up and it said, any author worth their salt is publishing a book every 3 to 6 months. I said, okay, I'm not crazy.
There you go. But see, now there's so much wrapped up in everything you said, and I hope I can, bring it all back, but I'm going to respond to that last part. You are an author. And you embody that. That goes back to what I said earlier. My saying is, if what you say and what you do not line up, you full of shit. That's just August's, that's a law for me. That's the way that I specifically say it. You have coined yourself as Tammie is an author. So if Tammie's not dropping books, then excuse me, no, you're not an author. You are a person who has written a book. I say that I am a coach, and you better believe, even when I'm not trying to be, you say something to me. I had a person come and say something to me on the grocery store a lot. You know how people are always trying to sell something to do something. Okay, wait a minute. Why don't you tell me what you're doing? So and before you know it, I'm in advice mode. I'm in coach mode because it is wrapped up in all of who I am. And I happen to have authored some books to express my expertise, but I don't declare that I'm all of those things. And some of you can't get there because you're trying to declare that you are everything. And so you are able to be in a zone and flow because you know who you are, you know what you're doing, you know why you are created to serve. Once again, it's not a gimmick. The money comes with the territory. The motivation behind what you do is that you want to walk in your purpose. You want to be in your element. You want to do what you got to do. The other thing, the downtime, taking away those steal away moments. When you decide to be an entrepreneur, the average person walks into this desire after being programmed all the way wrong. So you've been programmed to do, get, work. And then all of a sudden you need to have certain disciplines in place in order to be able to thrive as an entrepreneur. And so many of you, the reason why you can't survive is because you don't thrive without structure. I'm going to say that again. The reason why a lot of you will not survive as an entrepreneur is because you don't thrive without structure. And sometimes on this entrepreneur journey, the only structure that you have is a word called discipline. The discipline that says, with all of this stuff I got going on, I'm going to tap in. But a lot of you are like, okay, look, when I had a job, I got up and the kids got ready at 6, and at 6:30 we were out the door, and I drove and I dropped them off, and from 9 to 5 I worked my job, and then I was on the highway, and then all of a sudden you're an entrepreneur and you're at home, and it's like, well, if I don't have a posting schedule and I don't know when I'm supposed to post and when I'm supposed to promote, when I'm supposed to go live, when should I be scheduling a meeting, when should I set aside time specifically to write, and if it's not like that, you can't flow. But all of these impromptu moments that aren't going to give way to your entrepreneurial endeavor, they're not going to move for you. They're not going to make it easy for you. They're going to still be there. And the funny thing is they seem to heighten. It's like the more clothes appear, more dishes are there, more attention. Why do you want more attention from me? You see me all day now. I'm at home. Come on, y'all should be good. It seems like more comes to suck the life out of you. And you know what? You have to have those moments. And even with just taking care of yourself, don't say what there isn't time for, because when controversy comes, when struggle comes, you will realize that you have time. Oh, you don't have time to rest? I'm a beast. And so I work abnormal hours and abnormal time frames, but that does not mean that I don't get rest. That does not mean that I don't drink water. That does not mean I don't eat vegetables. That doesn't mean that I don't take care of August. And sometimes even those moments may be still away times. Go in your bedroom, lock your door, go in your bathroom, lock that door too, and just sit there. Even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes, breathe. But if you got to compartmentalize it in a schedule, and it's always got to be that way, you're going to feel resentful that there isn't enough time. It comes. But in the beginning, it's a little wonky. It's a little crazy. I hit a nerve. You was feeling me. Come on. What you thinking?
Because the thing about it is, on this entrepreneurial journey, one thing that you have to understand is it's not going to come as quickly as it did with your job.
No.
I'm going to sum up the entrepreneurial fishbowl, labyrinth, if you will.
Yes.
On your journey of entrepreneurship, you got to answer 7 questions.
Come on, bring them.
Who, what, when, where, why, how, and how much.
There you go.
Everything that you do,
come on,
revolves around them 7 questions.
Teach.
And everybody asked me, they're like, well, Tammie, where do you get that train of thought? Where did that come from? And it took me back to my childhood. I'm the worst kind of kid ever. I'm the baby and I'm the only girl. So I am Satan. But whenever I wanted something from my dad, I would walk up to my dad, hey, how you doing? You know, you my best friend. And he would look at me and say, who, what, when, where, why, how, and more importantly, how much?
Go on, Daddy.
Because he knew that with me coming to him like that, I had a need.
Yes.
So my Every Woman is a Businesswoman boot camp is built off of that memory and off of that principle of those 7 questions. Because when you are walking this entrepreneurial journey and you're thinking about what you want to be, them 7 questions gonna answer a whole lot.
True indeed. Say the name of that boot camp again.
Every Woman is a Businesswoman. And let me tell you where that came from.
Come on, bring it. Because
the thing about it is, I know you're not a woman that likes prepared spills, but
oh no, but I got you.
Grace.
I know the difference. Go ahead.
Every woman is a businesswoman. If you don't believe me, look in the mirror. Because the woman staring back at you is your first and primary business. So what you show to the world every day matters. And if you think it doesn't, ask yourself 4 questions. What am I reading? What am I watching? What am I listening to? And what am I doing? Because those 4 things is what's going to influence your mindset around everything.
Come on now.
So what you show to the world every day matters, because what we read, watch, listen to, it determines what we do. Yeah. It determines how we do, why, when, where, how, and what.
How much.
How much.
Come on now.
So don't tell me what you can't get done. And you may say, well, Tammie, I'm not like you. I'm not like you. I'm not built like that. My mind is not, is not like that. You're both right and you're wrong.
Come on now.
You're right in the sense that I'm Tammie, you're August. 2 totally different sides of the planet, but you're wrong in the sense that, like me, at one time, you are a woman who had a vision and you sat on it because you let 7 phrases govern your life. And those 7 phrases are: I'm broke, I don't have time, I have a family, I have a job, my talent is just a hobby or something I do on the side. I don't know how to do anything else but what I'm doing right now. And the worst of the 7, I'm good where I am. You are lying.
Ooh.
And I'm going to tell you how you know that you're not good where you are. What is your reaction when you see that woman that's out there killing it?
Hello.
That woman there are no doors. There are no walls. There is no ceiling. She's making it happen. You mad and you big mad. Matter of fact, let me give you a cape so you can be super mad. I'm going to tell you this. It's not her you mad at.
Right.
You mad at yourself because she took the next step that you refused to, because just because your bills is paid, you got $1.85 in your savings. And you think that just because this is going and that is going and I've done this and I've done that, you living off of yesterday's bread, hon. So my whole thing is, it's gotten to a point to where people don't talk to me.
Okay.
Because first of all, I'm going to tell you to write a book in a minute. Well, I don't have a story to tell.
We all got a story to tell.
Are you alive? Are you breathing?
Yes.
So, I the book that I just finished, I wrote a book about writing a book. And one thing that I preach to everybody is that content can come from anywhere. My book, The 7 Virtuous Businesswoman Slayers 7 Daily Cop-Outs, those 7 excuses that I just gave you, you remember the story that I told at the beginning about being there with my brother? I heard all 7 of those excuses in one conversation with the same person. And it bothered me to the point that I went home, I wrote them down in my journal, and I said, okay, Tammie, what did you do to overcome this? And how can you help another woman to understand that this is a load of crap?
You said so much. And I literally, I could comment to a lot of things, but I want you to help these women out just a little bit further. Because I totally agree with everything that you said. And I feel like, man, I've said those exact same things, but just in different words. Your darkest hour, because we're talking about that this doesn't always come easy. And here, let me make sure that I explain this really quick. Let me put this disclaimer out there. And I do this. I put a couple of disclaimers out there all the time because I got 2 different types of people that follow me. They're all under the umbrella of extremely spiritual, but you got the 2 spiritual places. I got my extreme Christians, and then I have my extreme woo-woo people. I call them woo-woo because you ain't 100% really. You say law of attraction and belief and all of that stuff. And so I have to put things out there because I'm always challenging everybody's mindset. And when we talk about entrepreneurship and we say that it isn't easy and that you have to pay a price and all of these different things will happen, some people want to raise up, I can do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens me. And you have to understand what the law of allowing is. And you attract things. Listen to me. I totally get it. No matter which way you're professing it, I totally get what you're saying, but the reason why it's hard, it isn't because I don't believe, it's because you ain't really been taught to operate in the shit you speaking. It's lip service. It's a Bible verse you're quoting. You were listening to Abraham and he said it, and Abraham Hicks in them, you heard it. You haven't internalized it. You haven't embodied it. And so you can't really stand on what you're hearing. And until you go through enough of a little something to develop the mojo, to develop the passion, it's just blanket statements. It's just mere words. So we're not declaring and decreeing that it means that you should have an expectation to just go through a long, dark ass journey, that you got to be broke, homeless, and destitute in order to make it. Some of you will, but that's because some stuff in you has to be broken. Weeds and rocks have to be pulled out in order for you to be built up and understand. There are some of us who don't have that same level of a downtrodden, low in the gutter story because maybe a long time ago we already started alienating ourselves from specific systems. I got away from religious beliefs at a very young age. So my mind was open to my ability to manifest. You know, if I'm reading a word and it says I can speak it into existence, wait a minute, what does that really mean? And if I'm gonna speak it and I'm gonna believe it, shoot, I'm gonna walk in it and act like it. And my expectation is gonna be high. But some of you, you're like, man, this sounds good and it makes me feel good, but I don't exactly know how to use it. And so you have to see it happen in your life. You know, God is so sovereign that he'll let you pray for something, want for something, have faith for something, and let it pop up so that you can see that this faith thing is real, that there really is something bigger than you that's going to bless you. But until you get your own muscle up there, you're fighting a war with trying to make something happen. You have limited direction, limited information. You don't know anything about the rules of engagement in business because you were taught to be a worker. You were taught to be a consumer, not an owner or a producer. And so those things have to be changed. That's what we mean about it being hard, because this has only been 4 years. You did all of that at the age of 33. You're getting ready to celebrate your 37th birthday. It don't take all of that. I started my journey in 2015. In 2018, look at me, look at where I'm at. We're not saying it's going to take you 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but we are saying that it's going to take some time. So now that I'm finished off of my rant, because so many nerves were hit while you were talking, help these people understand one of your darker, more lower moments that you had to overcome, because all of us at some point have to war and let it be known to know my calling ain't gonna be taken away from me.
My house was broken into. It was a Sunday afternoon in February, early February. I want to say it was the first Sunday in February because I had just filed my income tax, and I usually do that like the last week of January. And Sunday afternoon, we're at my dad's house. I live right around the corner from my dad. So we do Sunday dinners together and all of that. And, sometimes, we may leave or go off and do something, but for the most part, we're there. So I'm sitting there in the house, and my husband went home to get something. And so I didn't, think of him leaving it. Even when my dad got a phone call and left, I didn't think anything of it until my stepmother told me, you need to go home. So my dad runs back in the house. He says, I got the girls, just go home. And so I'm like, what's going on? I get in the truck with my stepmother, and she said, Tammie, do you have insurance on your house? And I said, Lord, no. I said, please don't tell me somebody broke into my house. And sure enough, I got home, my husband standing in the driveway on the phone with the police. Not only had my house been broken into, my house had been completely cleaned out.
Wow.
When I tell you that all they left was furniture and clothes, that is it. And we are a very tech-heavy family, simply because of what I do. And then my oldest daughter is in the animation and production and art and stuff like that. So we have a lot of equipment. When I tell you, they went from the front of my house to the back of my house. The one computer that they left, they bashed it in. And I was mortified because that one desktop computer that I have had all of my kids' educational records, all of our homeschool stuff, because we've been homeschooling for 10 years. So all of their records, all of their curriculum, all of their work, all of their projects, community service, all of that was on this computer that was bashed in. Fortunately, we were able to save it. It was just in shock. But as I began to walk through my house, I realized they got my laptop. I had $11,000 worth of intellectual property on that laptop that was not mine. Because one of the things that I do, I help authors turn their books into PowerPoints, online courses, speaking outlines and stuff like that. So I had several projects going at once, and I'm just sitting there crying because my laptop was gone. And I got my cell phone and I couldn't track my laptop because when they took it, I had a problem with my battery. So when I turned on my tracking software, it said this device is not on. So we couldn't even find it.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there, I'm crying because my laptop is gone. All my daughter's equipment is gone. Her mic, her lights, both of her laptops, her tablet, her desktop was gone. They took everything but her keyboard. And so I'm like, now I got to tell my baby. Not only is mommy's work gone,
but hers too.
But yours is gone too. And so I'm just sitting there trying to process because I'm battling. I had put some bids out on some projects and I'm trying to contact my clients and tell them what happened and that, we're going to sue you and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I'm not lying. And the fact that we called the police was the only thing that saved me from being sued. Because each one of my clients that I told, they said, if you can produce a police report, I need to know that this really happened, And here in the state of Tennessee, police reports are a matter of public record. So they could go and look and see and,
right.
list of things that were stolen, things like that. So that was the only thing that saved me. So here I am trying to figure out how in the world I'm going to continue in my business because my book files are gone. My clients' book files are gone. PowerPoints I was working on, it's all gone. Not to mention the mental and emotional instability of my family. My daughter's crying. My middle daughter doesn't have her tablet that she uses to communicate. My baby girl doesn't really understand what's happening. Everybody's routine is thrown off. My husband can't go to work. I can't think. My kids are crying. There's glass everywhere. Police in and out. I'm sitting in church in the evening service just saying, my God, what am I going to do? And then I started getting the emails of this client backing out of a project and me losing this bid and me missing this deadline and this person not wanting to work with me anymore. And this, just losing clientele faster than I'm snapping. And it put me in a really low place because I was like, everything is gone.
Right.
So, so I'm trying to, establish new routines in the house and just to get my girls back going. And then my husband says, well, Tammie, he says, we got to do something about you. He was like, babe, he said, you have to tell me, you have to help me help you because I don't know what to do. And I said, well, we have a computer. I said, I can go into OneDrive, Google Drive, emails and stuff like that and see what I can find, see what kind of projects I can complete, see if I can get my money back right, and everything. And I was able, to find the book manuscripts that I was working on, and a couple of my client projects, had uploaded to OneDrive and Google Drive and stuff like that. So I was able to pull things down and get things done. And then that was when I understood the concept of earthly angels. One of my Facebook friends out of Virginia, I was just kind of venting about it in a mompreneurs group that I'm in. This woman stepped up and organized a gift card drive for me. Never met me in real life. Didn't know me from the tree of life in the Garden of Eden. But just that thought helped, because here it was. I couldn't replace everything, but I was able to get a new laptop. I was able to get back going. I was able to replace my daughter's communication tablet. I was just small things that helped get back on the bus. And and really I'm still kind of in that rebuilding stage, because that was only about just shy of a year and a half ago. So just and then 2 months after that, we were in a car accident and we totaled our car. Just kind of a lot is going to happen to you on this entrepreneurial journey. But I tell people all the time, I'm blessed. God allowed me to not be bitter. He allowed me to not retaliate. I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy.
Right.
I'm not sitting in a corner, padded walls, suicide watch, none of that. I did what I could with what I had, and as things progress and start back to looking up, I'm able to reestablish a lot of things. So the important thing is not to get stuck in what is happening in your environment. Because even in that, your purpose is still there. Your reason for being is still there. What was put in you to do is still there. You might have to find a way to cut your expenses down. You may not be able to continue to use what you used to use, because you regulate your finances. Because just like with me, I cut $2,000 of business expenses down to less than $200, simply because I knew what to do. And the thing about it is, we will allow times like that to beat us down so much that we will forget who we are and what we can do in a time, and unless there's a crisis. And that makes me think of my mom. Back in the early 90s here in Memphis, we had an ice storm. And when I say ice, I mean the stuff on the street was about 6 inches thick. Like we had like real life ice.
Gotcha.
And we were hungry. My mom had gone to the grocery store and she was like, I'm going to hurry up and I'm going to get back before the power goes out. Power went out before she got back. So just imagine a mother walking into the house, power's out. You already got the fireplace going. Everybody's in one room. She broke down and she cried. But then she says, wait a minute. I got a fireplace, a barbecue grill, and and 2 cast iron skillets. Wait just a minute. So she goes outside. She takes the rack off the barbecue pit. She puts it in the fire. She puts country ham and bacon in one pan, and she was making pancakes and eggs in the other one. Then she got 2 pots, one with grits, one with oatmeal. When I see her again in heaven, I'm going to have to ask her how she made them biscuits, because biscuits on the fireplace, like, we don't understand that. But she looked us in the eye. She says, you know what, baby? She says, I'm sorry. She says, I forgot what I know how to do. It'll never happen again. Power came back on. My mom looked at my stepfather. She says, I don't care how much it costs. I don't care who you have to tell. I want a gas stove. This will not happen to me again. So what we have to understand is, while you are mad at yourself because you've forgotten who you are and what you can do, my question is, boo, what you going to do about it?
That question right there is where everybody needs to sit with this podcast. Do you know who you are?
Do you
That
know who you are and what you can do?
and what you were capable of.
And like I tell people in my boot camp, look past your job, look past your family, look past the roles that you play. If you answer the question, I am a woman who, with something that you do, you missed the point already.
Absolutely.
My business coach told me that, and mind blown. And they don't realize how simple of a question that is to answer. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite TV show?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite food? What's
Who
your
are
favorite
you?
store? What do you like? What do you not like? What do you like to do? What do you not like to do? I had a woman that tell me in my boot camp, she said, Tammie, it took me 3 days to be able to answer this question. I said, well, honey, we need to talk.
Absolutely. It is crazy. I mean, once again, it's so much that was in your story. And a lot of times I do have something to say, but I believe that by listening to everything that you said, even though some of you may have never had your property broken into, you still know what it feels like to be at the bottom. You know what it feels like to feel like your dream has been attacked. You know what it feels like to feel like you've reached a space where you can't go forward. And what will you do when those types of crises come? And the bottom line is that entrepreneurship is about creativity. And a problem or an issue arising is a moment for you to become solution oriented, to fill a gap, to fill a void, to operate in your power, to see what's possible. It always goes back to you. And I love how you also said that, you can't stay in a place of being angry. It's just even on a day-to-day schedule. Why in the hell won't these kids just cooperate? There's so much more that you get done when you just say, you know what, hold up, let me move aside real quick. Because even when I do get them to be quiet because I'm angry, they have taken up camp. And the time it takes to decompress and to refocus and to get re-energized, you've lost time even after you have, quote unquote, dealt with the situation, if negativity is what is residing in your spirit. And so I was saying is that stress stifles creativity. So I encourage you all, even when you're listening, to think about the stressors, the triggers, and what can you do to not let them bother you. My grandmother used to keep the prayer in the bathroom all the time that said, the serenity prayer. God give me, the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And in this journey, you are going to definitely have to know the difference. You had to be at peace that you could not change the fact that your place was broken into, but you had to have the courage to still stand and believe for your dream, and not just yours, but also your children's, and say that I'm not going to give up on this. I'm going to move forward. And everybody that's listening, that's something that you have to do sometimes, and you will potentially have to do it at different phases. As you explode, you're going to have it again. I'm starting something new, and I'm like, whoa. Do I feel a little fear trying to creep in on me a little bit before I start this next thing? Yeah, I do, but I won't let it reside over me. It's a little bit of healthy fear. So I literally don't want to stop, but we definitely are at a good stopping point, because if we don't, we're going to be on here for another hour. I literally told y'all that this was potentially going to happen because of what happened before we got on here. Please let everybody know. The URLs will be on the realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com website. So you guys can go there. You can click the links to get access, but just talk to them about any special offer that you want to give them. Let them know where to find you. Get your plug, girl. Come on.
All right. You can find me on my website, www.tammieterrellmompreneurs.com. That is spelled TAMMIETERRELL, mompreneurs with an S.com. You can find me on Facebook, Tammie Terrell Mompreneur Coaching. You can send me a friend request. I'm really friendly. You can find me on Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, Periscope. I know I'm forgetting one. My handle is Tammie Terrell MC. As far as special offers, I just released my Every Woman is a Businesswoman 30-day planner. Basically, it is a light version of my boot camp. You start out the day with a task and a challenge. There are questions to answer. There's a place to write notes. I have a 24-hour schedule page that goes from midnight to 11 p.m. And other notes pages. You can get that through the bookstore, my website, or if you want a physical one, I can help you with that. UPS is at my house now. That's just one thing that I have going. You can find just about any of my books on Amazon, but I do caution you when you type in Tammie Polk, there are two of us. There's a Tammie M. Polk and a Tammie T. Polk. I am the T.
Marvin Gaye, she's the T, y'all. For those of y'all that knew what the connection was, the duo.
Right. So I am the T, but you will find that out very quickly because she's only written one book.
There you go.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. My goal and my joy is to use the power of the written word to inspire, encourage, uplift, and equip women to eliminate excuses and excel in life and business. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome.
Y'all, come on, go on Facebook, put your comments and stuff. Or if you want, I don't know, maybe you saw the link on LinkedIn, maybe you subscribe. I need some comments on this one. Fire! So you have been an awesome guest, and I don't know, sometimes I extend this offer. We may need to come back and chop up something and do a series because there's so much inside of you. And there's so much for you to give. And I definitely want people to know who you are. Entrepreneur, period. But especially if you want to get into the arena of writing books, then you want to follow her, get to know her, check her style. She's been consistent since I met her. I haven't known her that long, but I know her enough to feel very, very confident about accepting the invitation for you to be here. So thank you again. Thank you.
You are most welcome.
All right, we out of here, you guys. Until the next episode, deuces. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in